I was in 7th grade and home alone after a half day, when suddenly there was very hard knocking on my back door. I knew immediately something was off because we never had visitors and my father didn't knock like that, and I froze up in my room. I peeked out of my room, right in front of the back door, and suddenly it was quiet. So I went back to my room. As soon as I closed my door, I heard glass shatter. I dived off my computer and TV and I dove under my bed. For the next 40 minutes I heard them thrashing around my living room and parents' room, then heard them leave. During this time I was on a call with the cops, who thought I was prank calling them and took 70 minutes to finally come over. The station was 3 streets away from my house. They came and investigated, only to find out that it was our next door neighbour who broke in and was actually looking for drug money. As it turns out, the previous person to live here did at-home haircuts and sold weed on the side. The neighbour was arrested and his family moved out a week later. The only thing this guy took was the lunch money I'd left on a counter outside for the next day. When I was 4, my parents worked long hours at a restaurant. They left my brother to babysit me until 10:30 at night. He's 8 years older than me, so 12 years old at the time. Every night when my parents came home, they rang the bell and I'd run to greet them at the door with my brother. Well, one day the bell rings and when I open the door, instead of my parents, it's 4 guys standing there. Apparently they'd been watching the house and knew the routine. They have guns and tell my brother and me to go downstairs and watch the TV as one of the guys stands guard over us. They let me sit there, but they tie my brother up using his Nintendo cords. I remember going to tug at the cords on my brother's wrist. I wasn't trying to untie him, it was more out of curiosity, and the guy actually pointed his gun at me and told me to stop. When they finished going through the house, they tied us both up to a beam and left. After a little while, my brother wiggled out from the bindings and my parents came home. Cops were called and info was given to the police. They got a few pieces of jewellery and a camcorder. We were so lucky we weren't hurt. Davis Wallman arrived at his Seattle area home one night and noticed a couple of lights inside that would usually be off. He noted it was not ordinary, but he didn't seem too concerned. He thought maybe his parents had stopped by and forgotten to turn off the lights. When he entered the house and went upstairs, he also found a screen from a bathroom window inside the tub. Again, he didn't think too much of it until the next morning, when strange noises in the attic startled him. The bathroom window, which was a small space, was located upstairs but can't be easily accessed without something or someone to lift a person. He jolted out of bed when he heard rummaging above him, which he knew was the attic. Realizing the noises were weird, he tried to figure out what was going on when he noticed the light was on in the office. The door was locked, so he knocked but got no response. He went to find something to protect himself, then knocked on the door again. It was then he heard a woman's voice. She asked if he was Jimmy. Wallman replied no and ordered the woman to open the door. When the woman eventually opened the door, she told Wallman that Jimmy told her she could live there. She also claimed she had been there for 3 days. Wallman called 911, but the woman escaped before the police arrived at the home. He never learned how the woman entered his house, but she appeared to have been living in the attic for at least a few days. Wallman said that nothing was stolen, but a few things were moved around the house.